So today I'll be handling high voltage engineering. Its subject code is 18EE56. So coming to the syllabus. So here in module 1, we'll be having conduction and breakdown in gases, liquid and solid dielectrics. So conduction and breakdown are the electrical phenomena that we'll be studying in module 1. So in various medias like gaseous medium, liquid medium and solid medium. So we'll be studying about the conduction and breakdown in all these mediums. So coming to module 2, that is generation of high voltage and currents. Here generation of high voltages and currents will be generating that high voltages using rectifier circuits, that is half wave, full wave, voltage doublers. All these things will be studying in module 2. So after generation, next in module 3, we'll be studying about the measurement of high voltages and currents. In module 4, we will be studying about the overvoltage phenomenon and insulation coordination in electrical power system. So that is, overvoltage is usually caused due to lightning. It is usually caused due to switching surges, and it may be caused due to some abnormal condition in the power system. So in module 5, we will be studying about the non-destructive testing of materials and electric apparatus, high voltage testing of electric apparatus. So for this subject, high voltage engineering, you can go through MS Naidu and V. Kamaraj. This one textbook covers all the modules, that is module 1 to module 5. So firstly, what is high voltage engineering? So why high voltage has been required? And what is the importance of high voltage? All these things will be studied in today's topic. So what is high voltage engineering? So it is nothing but the branch of electrical engineering which is given as a core subject for electrical engineers. So in this we'll be studying, and we will be studying about the electrical phenomena and application of those occurring in various mediums at high voltages. So electrical phenomena in the sense, it may be conduction, it may be breakdown. In various mediums in the sense, it is gaseous medium, it may be liquid medium, and it may be solid mediums after the application of high voltages. So it is a branch of electrical engineering that encompasses the study and application of the electrical phenomena occurring in various mediums at high voltages. And it provides the access to electrical energy for consumers far away from power generation units. So why is it important to know about the high voltage? What is the importance of high voltage? So usually the primary reason that power is transmitted at high voltages is to increase efficiency. So we know the power has been generated using renewable resources as well as non-renewable resources like hydel power plants, thermal power plants, solar power plants. All these things generate energy. When once the energy has been generated, it should be transmitted. For transmission purpose, as electricity is transmitted over long distances, obviously there may be energy losses along the way. So to minimize these losses, high voltage transmission is being used. As high voltage transmission minimizes the amount of power lost as electricity flows from one location to the next. So why is it important? It is important to increase the efficiency. So main purpose of using high voltage is to increase efficiency as losses get reduced. So coming to the applications, it is used in power system, it is used in industries, it is used in research labs, and also it is used in electrical power distribution in CRT, that is cathode ray tubes, and it is used to generate X-rays and particle beams to produce electrical arcs for ignition in photomultiplier tubes, in high power amplifier vacuum tubes, as well as it is used in other industrial, military and scientific applications. And such applications have become essential to sustain modern civilization. So, what do you mean by high voltage? When it is termed as high voltage, there should be some levels where it is told it is high voltage. So, to know about the high voltage, to know the level of the high voltage, we have low voltage, we have medium voltage, we have high voltage, we have extra high voltage, as well as we have ultra high voltage. So, coming to the low voltage. So, low voltage is termed as from 0 till 1000 volts. It is termed as low voltage. When it comes to medium voltage, so from 1000 volts to 100 kV, we term it as medium voltage. Whereas for high voltage, it is termed as 100 kilovolts till 230 kilovolts is termed as high voltage. And for extra high voltage, 230 kilovolts till 1000 kilovolts. And for ultra high voltage, it is termed as the levels are like 1000 kV, equal to 1000 kV or above is termed as ultra high voltage. And these all things are for alternating current. And above 1500 volts for DC emitters, it is termed as high voltage. So before going to the module, that is module 1, 2 or whatever it is, so let us know some terms. So it is necessary to know the terms like what is dielectric, what is dielectric strength, what is dielectric breakdown, and properties of dielectric. So as we are studying gas is dielectric, liquid dielectric, and we are studying about solid dielectric. So first let us know what is dielectric. So dielectric is nothing but it is very poor conductor of electric current. It does not conduct current. Okay, it is very poor conductor of electric current, or you can tell it as dielectrics are nothing but insulators. Okay, so when dielectrics are placed in an electric field, practically no current flows in them. No current flows in them because unlike metals, they have no loosely bound or there is no free electrons that may drift through the material. And hence, all dielectrics are insulators. All dielectrics are insulators and all insulators are not dielectrics. So let us know the difference between what is dielectric and what is insulator. So dielectrics are poor conductor of electricity. And even we know that insulators are also poor conductor of electricity. But there is a difference. When dielectrics are applied, are given electric field or given some certain voltage, after that they start conducting. They become good conductor of electricity. Hence, it is told as all dielectrics are insulators, but not all insulators are dielectric. When insulators are given electric field, they do not conduct. Okay, so hence dielectrics supports electric field. So it is clear now what is dielectric. Dielectric is nothing but it is poor conductor of electric current. Okay, when we give electric field or when a voltage is being applied, dielectric starts conducting. So it becomes good conductor of electric current. So examples of dielectrics are ceramic, paper, mica. And examples of insulators are wood, plastics. Coming to the types of dielectric. So types of dielectrics like gas, solid, liquid, and composite. In gas dielectrics, the examples are air, sulfur hexafluoride, vacuum. All these things comes under gas dielectric. In solid dielectric, it is polyvinyl chloride, ceramic, mica. In liquid, it is mineral oil, it may be petroleum. So all these things comes under liquid dielectric. Composite. Composite, it may be composite in the sense gas plus solid or gas plus liquid or solid plus liquid. It is mixture of any two dielectrics. It is called as composite dielectric. For this, the example is impregnated paper. So next term is dielectric strength. So you know what is dielectric. You know the difference between the dielectric and the insulator. So next, let us know what is dielectric strength. So dielectric strength, which is also known as dielectric breakdown strength. So the maximum electrical potential that a material can resist before the electric current breaks through the material. So there is some point or some certain voltage. Above that, the breakdown occurs. Above that, the dielectric starts conducting. But till there, it behaves as an insulator itself. So that part is called as dielectric strength. Okay, got? So for ceramic, it is 100 kilovolt per millimeter. So what is the dielectric strength of the ceramic means? It is 100 kilovolt per millimeter. What does it mean? It means that when the voltage increases above 100, it may be 101. Okay, the breakdown occurs. It starts conducting. Till there, it acts as an insulator. But once the voltage starts increasing above 100, it may be 101 also, it starts conducting. So it will no longer remain as insulator. It becomes a good conductor of electricity. Okay. So what is the unit of dielectric strength? It may be volts per meter, volts per centimeter, megavolts per meter. So dielectric breakdown. So we know what is dielectric strength. So let us know what is dielectric breakdown. So dielectric breakdown is the failure of an insulating material to prevent the flow of current under an applied electrical stress. So the breakdown voltage is the voltage at which the failure occurs. As I've taken the example of ceramic and I've told what is breakdown, that is dielectric strength. So 100 if it is the dielectric strength, the breakdown occurs from 101. So that voltage 101 above 100, it is called as dielectric breakdown. Okay, so that term is called as breakdown voltage. So above that voltage, the dielectric will no longer remain as an insulator, but it starts conducting. It becomes a good conductor of electricity. So that is the breakdown voltage is the voltage at which the failure occurs and the material is no longer electrically insulating. So current flows through dielectrics when applied voltage exceeds the breakdown voltage. So next, coming to the properties of dielectric material. So while selecting the dielectric material, what are the things you'll have to keep in mind? So those things are termed as properties here. So what are those properties? It should have high dielectric strength. It should have high thermal stability, high chemical inertness. It should be non-inflammable. It should have good heat transfer, and it should be of low cost. So all these things should be kept in mind. And one more thing, the electric breakdown strength of insulating materials depends on a variety of, like, it may be applied voltage, and it may depend upon certain parameters such as pressure. It may depend upon temperature, humidity, field configuration, nature of applied voltage, imperfections of the dielectric materials, maybe material of the electrodes, and surface conditions of electrodes. I hope you have understood.